From ancient scrolls to digital revolution. Long ago, when the world was ruled by empires and kings, knowledge was the most sacred treasure of all. The earliest form of written words was carved on stones and clay tablets. People would record the laws, victories, and prayers of their civilizations. The Sumerians in Mesopotamia were among the first to press reeds into wet clay, creating cuneiform signs that told stories of gods and trade. Later in Egypt, scribes began to write on papyrus scrolls, a plant found along the Nile River. These scrolls carried the secrets of medicine, astronomy, and history. Knowledge was power, and only a few chosen people had the right to read and write. Centuries passed, and the Greeks and Romans improved the art of writing. They began to use parchment made from animal skins, and slowly the idea of a bound book appeared. Instead of long scrolls, the world started to use codices, sheets bound together that could be turned by hand. Libraries grew in cities like Alexandria and Athens. Scholars spent their lives studying the stars, the earth, and the human soul. But every book was written by hand, and copying took months or even years. Mistakes could ruin an entire work, and sometimes wars or fires destroyed entire libraries. Still, the hunger for knowledge spread across continents, carried by travelers and philosophers. In the Middle Ages, the monks of Europe dedicated their lives to preserving knowledge. In candlelit monasteries, they copied ancient Greek and Roman texts by hand using feather quills and ink made from plants. Each page was a work of art filled with bright illustrations and golden letters. These manuscripts were priceless and guarded carefully. At the same time, in China, great progress was being made. There, the invention of paper changed everything. Paper was lighter, cheaper, and easier to produce than parchment. Later, Chinese inventors created wooden movable type and printed whole books faster than anyone before them. The idea of mass printing was born, though it would take centuries for it to reach the rest of the world. Then came one of humanity's greatest turning points. In the 15th century, Johannes Gutenberg from Germany invented the printing press with movable metal type. For the first time, books could be printed quickly and in large numbers. Knowledge was no longer limited to kings, priests, and scholars. Common people could finally learn to read and own books. The first printed Bible changed Europe forever, and soon ideas began to travel faster than ever before. The printing press sparked revolutions in science, religion, and politics. It gave birth to the Renaissance, a period of rebirth and discovery where thinkers like Leonardo da Vinci and Galileo changed the way humans saw the world. As centuries rolled on, printing continued to evolve. Newspapers spread daily news across nations. Magazines carried images and stories of faraway lands. Schools and universities grew as learning became available to everyone. Libraries became temples of wisdom open to the public. Then came the Industrial Revolution, which brought machines that could print thousands of pages per hour. The written word reached every corner of the earth. But humanity's thirst for progress never stopped. In the 20th century, a new kind of revolution began, one that would forever change the way we think, learn, and communicate. The birth of the computer marked the dawn of the digital age. At first, computers were giant machines filling entire rooms, but as technology advanced, they became smaller, faster, and smarter. With them came the internet, the invisible web that connected people from all corners of the planet. The world's knowledge began to flow freely from one screen to another. Books were no longer bound by paper, but existed as digital files accessible with a single click. The digital revolution transformed how we share stories and ideas. Ancient scrolls, once locked in dusty libraries, could now be seen by anyone with an internet connection. Students in remote villages could learn about the stars and the oceans through online lessons. Writers could publish their work, instantly reaching millions without a printing press. Artists, musicians, and inventors found new ways to express themselves through digital media. The world had entered a new era of limitless information. However, this new age also brought challenges. With so much information available, it became harder to separate truth from lies. Privacy began to fade as data traveled across networks. Machines started to think, learn, and make decisions just like humans. Artificial intelligence changed industries, art, and science. The same technology that connected hearts also created walls of distraction and isolation. The written word now competed with endless videos, images, and sounds. The simplicity of the old scrolls seemed almost peaceful compared to the constant rush of digital noise. Yet in the heart of this transformation, one truth remained unchanged. Knowledge is still the light that guides humanity forward. Whether carved in stone, written on parchment, or typed on a glowing screen, knowledge carries the power to unite, divide, build, or destroy. The journey from ancient scrolls to the digital revolution is not just about technology, but about the evolution of the human spirit. It shows our endless desire to learn, to share, and to dream beyond the limits of our time. Today we live in a world where a child can hold more knowledge in a small phone than an entire library once contained. The voices of philosophers, scientists, and poets echo through pixels and waves. The wisdom of centuries travels faster than sound, touching minds across oceans. But as we stand in this bright digital age, we must remember the roots of our progress. Every message, every file, every word on a screen is part of a story that began thousands of years ago when a human first scratched a symbol into stone. The future will bring even greater changes. Perhaps books will no longer need pages or screens, but will live in our thoughts through neural connections. Maybe artificial intelligence will preserve human history in ways we cannot yet imagine. But the essence will stay the same. The desire to record the truth, to share stories, to pass on lessons will never die. From ancient scrolls to digital revolutions, humanity's greatest invention has always been communication. It is what connects generations, shapes cultures, and builds civilizations. So the next time you open a tablet or read an article online, remember that you are part of a journey that began in the dust of forgotten temples and the light of ancient fires. The hands that once rolled papyrus scrolls and the minds that once carved wisdom into clay are the ancestors of the technology we use today. The story of human knowledge is still being written not with ink or stone, but with light and code and imagination. And as long as there are dreamers, thinkers, and storytellers, the revolution will continue endlessly expanding across time and space like the universe itself.